Good day, Hamilton Homeowners Association. Would you like to know how to quantify a feeling of being secure? Know that the crime is high again, break-ins are happening, car thefts are happening. People break into cars. We are not trying to scare you. What we're trying to do is make everybody aware of what's going on in your area by introducing our very own CCTV camera. We are a team from a CCTV company called EyeSpy Tech. We're selling our best security system camera with free installation. Protect your home with our CCTV camera.
We're introducing you this type of CCTV that we're selling. The Brimstone is our most popular bullet camera model. This tied with the deputy in terms of how easy it is to install and position, since neither camera requires you to remove any part of the camera to screw it into the wall, ceiling, and soffit. This makes it ideal for outdoor uses as you don't have tendency to trap moisture inside the lens. The 92-degree lens with 4K resolution is a great balance between covering a large area and identifying faces and license plates. Although, you can use this camera inside or out. The most common use of this Brimstone model is the camera comes in 2MP, 4MP, or 8MP.
A camera uses a convex lens, also known as converging lens, because it converges the rays of light toward the principal axis or toward the focal point, and that the convex lens will form a real image of an object on a film, or the electronic version being charged. Here's a convex lens, and we have an object here which is further away than the principal focus, and as long as it's further away from the lens and the principal focus, it will form a real image, and that's the upside down arrow. We can see here, we can also see that image if those rays of light were to enter our eye.
Here's the situation in the camera. So exactly the same idea. Here's the object, convex lens. We've used two rays of light here, one that goes straight through the optical center, carries on in a straight line, and the other which is parallel to the principal axis. That's the line of symmetry of the lens. Now instead of this film, we could have an electronic version which is called a change-coupled device. Looks a bit like these charge-coupled devices, or CCD, are electronic sensors or light sensors. They use a lot in digital cameras and video cameras, mobile phone to record still and moving images. And the CCD captures rays of light that hit a tiny pixel or area, and that area converts it digital or electronic data. And that's recorded by the camera, and for this reason it's thought of as the digital version of the old type of photographic film.
We also recommend spots for the places of the cameras, and we think that it's a good choice for it. Firstly, we have the camera E, which is the main entrance of the subdivision. This is truly recommended by yours truly. The reason why we think this place needs a camera is because we need to be aware of who got in the village and who got out of the village. Next, we have is the camera D, which is the park of the village. Since this is the park, there will be lots of people here every day. And as for their safety, we should put a camera to watch out for them in case of danger might be around, especially for kids and teens. We heard that the park has a public pool, so it's the best to put a CCTV camera around this area.
The cameras B and C is a gate from the other village next to Hamilton Homes, and since it's a secret gate, we should put CCTV cameras here too. Especially some people are not aware that it's a passage to get to the other village. Lastly, the part A. This is also a secret passage, and we can't risk to not put CCTV camera around this area. So we recommend that to put a camera around this area. That's all the places we recommend to place CCTV cameras around. We hope this helped you decide on where you should put CCTVs.
Alright, now let's look at our CCTV spots coordinates in this graph. First off, we have camera A at -11, -8, camera B at -6, -1, camera C at 1, -1, camera D at 6, -5, and lastly, camera E at 14, 11. Now let us solve for the distance from each other. So the formula we're gonna be using for this formula is square root of x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. First, keep in mind that 1 unit in our graph is equivalent to 10 meters. Now we're gonna solve for the distance between cameras A and B using the distance formula. We have the given coordinates negative 11 and negative 8 for camera A and negative 6, negative 1 for camera B. We're gonna have the coordinates of A as x1 and y1 and the coordinates of B as x2 and y2. So the equation would look like this. Now we're gonna solve and use the PEMDAS rule, so let's start with the parentheses. Negative 6 minus negative 11 is 5 and negative 1 minus negative 8 is 7. Now we're gonna do the exponents. 5 squared is 25 and 7 squared is 49. Now let's do addition and we get square root of 74, and the square root of 74 is 8.6, and since 1 unit is equal to 10 meters, then the distance between camera A and B is 86 meters. Now let's solve for the distance between camera B and C. We have the given coordinates of negative 6 and negative 1 for camera B and 1 negative 1 for camera C. Now we do the same, just substitute the given coordinates to the formula with the coordinates of B as x1 and y1 and the coordinates of C as x2 and y2. Now we follow the PEMDAS rule. 1 minus negative 6 is 7 and negative 1 minus negative 1 is 0. In this equation, we can just cancel out 0 squared since 0 squared is equal to 0. And now we have square root of 7 squared left. We can just cancel out the radical sign and squared. We have 7 units or 70 meters. Now let's solve for the distance between cameras A and D with the given coordinates negative 11, negative 8 for camera A and 6, negative 5 for camera D. We're gonna substitute the coordinates to the formula with the coordinates of A as x1 and y1 and the coordinates of D as x2 and y2. Now let's solve. 6 minus negative 11 is 17 and negative 5 minus negative 8 is 3. Apply the exponents, so we have 289 plus 9, and add the two values, we have square root of 298. So we have 17.26 units or 172.6 meters as the distance between cameras A and D. Now let's solve for the distance between cameras C and E with the given coordinates 6 and negative 5 for camera D and 14, 11 for camera E. Substitute the values with the coordinates D as x2 and y2 and coordinates of E as x1 and y1. 6 minus 14 is negative 8 and negative 5 minus negative 11 is negative 16. Negative 8 squared is positive 64 and negative 16 squared is positive 256. Now we get square root of 320. And we get the distance between cameras D and E is equal to 17.89 units or 178.9 meters. Now let's solve for the distance between cameras D and C with the given 6 negative 5 for camera D and 1 negative 4 for camera C. Substitute the values with the coordinates of D as x1 and y1 and the coordinates of C as x2 and y2. 1 minus 6 is equal to negative 5 and negative 1 minus negative 5 is equal to 4. Negative 5 squared is equal to positive 25 and 4 squared is equal to 16. Now we have the square root of 41, which is 6.4 units. So the distance between cameras D and C is 64 meters. Now this is a preview of our CCTV camera as mentioned earlier. It has a 92-degree angle and here we applied circle theorems. If the measure of angle BAC is equal to 92 degrees, then the measure of arc BC is also 92 degrees. Since the measure of arc BC is equal to 92 degrees, then it is a minor arc because a minor arc is less than 180 degrees. Now the measure of arc BDC is equal to 268 degrees because the measure of a full circle is 360 degrees and the measure of arc BC is 92 degrees and 360 minus 92 is 268. This arc is a major arc because major arc is greater than 180 degrees.
If you decide not to buy, what would the reason be? Now it's your turn. Are you going to let your child go in danger? Why don't you give a try? For only 5,000 pesos, you will get our best buying CCTV product, which is the Brimstone, our most popular camera model. That's all I have for today. Any questions? If you have any concerns, please contact our team leader Trisha Justo. Hope we targeted your expectations and needs. Thank you.